All right, here we are back in the Stallion Barn for another Creekside Chat. How we doing, Adam?
We're doing great.
Yeah, my name's Shaun. I'm doing well, too. Glad to be back with you all. Having so much fun doing this.
Yeah, it's great.
Third episode this season. Very nice episode for you today, I think. And we've got some really cool content, so let's get into it. How are you feeling after this? Are you tired?
I'm tired.
I think I got hit by a truck.
Exhausted. Yeah. Now, I run a lot, right? Like 40, 50 miles a week. But, I mean, even that beat me up last week. Just talking to people for that long and being up for that many days is challenging.
Yeah, your stamina's like alien life form, but mine is very much worldly, and it was tested for sure.
I think everybody's was.
It's a good tired, you know. It's like how you feel after a good 10 days of straight, you know, all out work of any kind.
And we don't even go out to dinner late at night either.
I can't. I used to try to, but I wouldn't be a good dinner date. You know, I'm like, you know, my other problem is I can't fall asleep after those auctions.
Yeah, I know. Every morning you come back,
and I'm running it all back through my head, and I just lay there and I'm like, I need to rest, but I can't. And so,
do you ever come up with any great ideas?
I come up with some ideas, but they're great. I doubt, but I think they're great at the time. I'm sure.
And then pepper them the next morning. You're like, listen to what I came up with.
Yeah, I like to send sometimes emails so I don't forget or put notes in my phone, but.
I'm glad it's over,
a real
right?
fly. That's not a prop. That's because we're in a stallion barn.
There you go.
So these flies will be dying.
So give us the recap.
Recap is industry's healthy.
Yeah.
Big European participation last week.
Yeah.
Always good to see all the familiar faces, and it's the same usual suspects.
Yeah. But it's nice. So this is the second year that Andrew Harris and his guys have spent a lot of money at the sale, and
it's a big deal. Makes a big difference.
It's huge. Right. Now you just wish them a lot of luck, right? I mean, they're pouring a bunch of money into the sport, so, you know, it's got to pay off
for them.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, you know, there was a learning experience for us, right?
Sure.
Because it's always different. It's always evolving. And it was different. How was it different?
I think, you know, we went in there with really high expectations. And then when you peel it all back at the end, maybe it's not as bad as it felt when we left. But, you know, we ended up keeping a handful of our own horses, which, you know, we don't love to do. But that's just part of the deal.
Couldn't get them sold fairly.
Yeah.
Got roughed up a little bit at times.
But it's okay. Like, the good horses sold good. I think, like, once we got into the sale, it was nice. And, you know, we ended strong with a $120,000 down by the Seaside Colt. So it's always nice to finish strong.
Much love to anybody that looked at, bid on, or purchased our yearlings. And we wish everybody the best of luck on those purchases. You know, we'll just try to learn from it and move on. We've got a nice Harrisburg line.
I was going to say, the turnaround is real, and it's happening now. We're in the midst of it.
It was like Futurity Day, and then on to the next one, you know. Just highlights from coming on to the Harrisburg sale. We've got a 30 to present to you. There's actually 5 Ontario breds, which is something we don't typically have. We will be highlighting the Anthony Peretti Farm group and the Hot Lid Farm group for Joe Parisi. And then
and he sold one with us in Lexington and did quite well. So that was kind of nice. It's a good lead in for him.
We've got Woodside Farms. Lester Beachy does a great job in Indiana. He bred Woodside Charm. Sending a couple trotters for us to sell up there. And then, like I said, those Ontario group I was talking about of Nick Malcolm's, and then actually a few from Order by Stable. So star-studded group, Diamond Creek sending about a dozen. We really have something for everybody. It's pretty much split 50-50, trotters and pacers. But some of maybe the highlights would just be I don't know if anybody remembers Star Captain, but she was a really good filly.
Yep.
Record of 51, made $136,000. Sister to Better's Wish will be selling her first foal.
Which is exciting.
Always been making a colt. Yeah, it was very exciting.
And we've done good selling for Peretti, and then Peretti's horses have gone on and raced really, really well. So that's huge.
You know, talking about like Geocentric was sold through our consignment for only $55,000. I think she's
2-year-old champion, made 600 or 700 now.
700 some, and then this past year we had Pappy's Pistol, who's been a stalwart competitor in the kindergarten and the PA Sire Stakes, that Pappy Rob colt, and we're bringing in his full brother to sell for them.
That's always good.
So I won't get too salesy on our consignment here. Why don't we just jump into it here and go to the grounds at Fasig-Tipton last week.
See what you find
for the segment
out.
Behind the Barn Door. Well, Adam, here we are.
We made it.
That is
Understatement, maybe.
what did it take to make it?
Oh, from the top or from the last week?
Just walk me through the last couple days. We had some weather.
I mean, we've had an unbelievable late summer, early fall with great weather, and then we get struck with the hurricane the last handful of days. And, we've spent a lot of hours talking about, our adjustments on our end, from shipping in later to, dealing with the rain and the wind and everything else. But, it's really a team effort that got us here.
Yeah, and kudos to the sale grounds, the sale company, all the consignors. Everybody got here more or less on time. I know we spend almost all year planning for this week, and we, had to make a call to ship in later than we intended. And then, shout out to all the folks that are struggling down south with the aftermath of that hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, we lost trees and power and things, but, places we love to go to, like Asheville, like they are absolutely devastated.
Can you believe that? Did you see that? Yeah.
So,
but, life is going on.
Yep.
We've got a horse sale. And couldn't be more excited to be up here with our horses that we've put so much work and love into. So let's talk about why we bring all this stuff here, why we have trailers and trailers of sale equipment, and why we have 30 plus employees back here showing horses, and just the circus has come to town. Why does it have to be so much, and why?
Well, partly to get paid, right? But no, we try to put on as good a product for the public and for our buyers as possible. It's, like you said, it's a team effort from top to bottom, but we try to, the experience of looking at our horses, and we try to share what we grow up with all these horses, and we try to share it with everybody else. But no, it's, we like the flowers, they look good, and the tent and the food, and it's all an experience to try to get as many people through here to see our horses as possible, and hopefully bidders along the way.
And you see the pride, not just here with us, but that everybody takes. They all every year seem to step it up more and more. Not just with the horses, but like with the experience, like you said. And
you have to raise the bar all the time, right, to compete with everybody. But you're going to go out hopefully now and peel back the layers a little bit.
I want
and
to do
talk
that.
To some consignors.
I want to give people just a different viewpoint. We're not going to talk about the horses they like or what exactly they're expecting to sell this way or that way, but more just what's the personal experience like
a raw
building
version.
up to this. And the struggle or the joy, whatever it may be,
probably a
to
little
put
bit of
this
both.
on. Yeah. So let's get out there. Let's just kind of scratch the surface here with
go
some of these
find
folks
out
and see.
Let's see.
Here with Emily Purcell, General Manager of Equine Ops for Diamond Creek. You might remember her from the last episode. Emily, the struggle, the joy of bringing the circus to town?
I think the joy of it is getting everybody here, and they enjoy it, showing the horses, and the guys. We have a separate sale team that comes and helps us, and they're always super upbeat, and it gets the farm staff, who's been working really hard, also back into the really playful part of just being with the horses and enjoying what they like to do, because we all are here we're all here because we like to work with horses, so we have to remember that when we come here. I think it comes back. The struggle's probably just the really long nights and having to be back here super early in the morning, but there's really not a whole lot of downs to it. I think it's just long days, really. Yeah. So
it's like going to a festival for us. Like, this is what we love, right? Like, we get to put on a show for people, and like I noticed a lot of the girls today are doing pigtails and braiding their hair. Like, we're kind of like putting ourselves out there, like shows.
Yeah, too, it's a show for us. Yeah, so everybody puts on their face for the day, and the horses get to get dressed up as well. So you got to have fun with it, right? So, is there anything funny that's happened in the craziness the last few days? We actually play a lot of games while we're here throughout the week. So at the end of the week, everybody gets a little gift card with the amount of money that they win, and everybody's grouped into teams. So they all have team names, and then they all have like a goal at the end of each day, and whoever wins gets the money. So it's kind of a little competition throughout the week. So we do that a lot. And I think we're going to play tug of war later today, so that'll be fun. That's a new one. My money's on Team Norway. Thanks, Emily. Have a good week. Thanks. All right, guys. Over here with Troy Eiler,
general manager of Sergent Stables, extremely high quality pacing breeder, and also making waves in the trotting ranks here lately, as they have done in the past at times. But Troy, just kind of walk us through, you all moved the farm to Ocala a few years ago. You've had a hurricane virtually every year trying to get to this sale. Just talk about the struggle and joy of this time of year trying to get it all done.
It's a lot of struggle and just getting the horses ready to move down here. And it's always either a storm right the day before we're shipping out or right when we're bringing them in. And dealing with the trucking companies and taking care of the farm and all the other horses you got to take care of, and plus all our clients that are on the farm. It's just it's a lot to do.
Yeah, it certainly is. Kind of just tell me about like what the move to Florida has been like. What do you like? What do you not like? And it seems like the success of the horses and the product and the sales success has just continued without any interruption.
The success has continued. The biggest benefit for us, we're in horse country now compared to where we were. We loved being out in western Pennsylvania, but having access to everything and anything, having vets 2 minutes away from your property, blacksmiths around every corner. It's just, we're in horse country. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit easier that way. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to industry-wise, we're still kind of on the outskirts of where we should be, but we're doing it and doing well.
Yeah, and always have. What about the Florida eligible piece? I know a lot of people may wonder when they see that in the catalog, what does that mean? Talk to us about that.
The Florida program still has some staking programs. They have it at one of the training centers since Pompano closed down. It's an opportunity for people that buy our horses. Say there's one of our horses doesn't do well during the Grand Circuit season, and the trainers are moving them down there during the winter, and you still have something eligible to go race for if you need to, or just start the horse or whatever. It's just an opportunity for somebody, because 90% of the horses end up in Florida anyhow during the winter. So,
yeah. Very cool. Thanks, Troy. Appreciate you.
Nope, no problem. Thank you, Shaun.
All right, here with Steve Jones, Cameo Hills. Steve, what's it like been getting in this year with all the weather?
You know what? We shipped in Thursday night and Saturday night, so we kind of came on both sides of the bad weather. So everything got here, and we're safe and sound so far.
Do you feel any pressure to ship in and start showing earlier than other consignors, just not being based in Kentucky or anything like that?
Not really. I used to ship here and show them the day before the sale, and I had people saying, "Oh, we want you here earlier." So I under heavy pressure backed it up one day. So now I've been showing Saturday for several years, and people still say, "Oh, you start showing Sunday, right?" And I've been showing Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for 6 or 8 years. So anyway, we altered our schedule because the buyers requested it.
God bless your soul. Now, you all have a lot of folks that come by the farm, though, right? A lot of following that's been coming every year.
Yes, we have a lot of trainers and owners that look at them at the farm, and we show them there, and they get videoed there and turned out in the paddocks there, and you're trying to present the horse as good as you can.
Yeah. Talk about the why. Like, I know you got family history going back to your dad, and just why everything that you have goes into what you do. Just talk about the why and why it means so much to put out a good product like this.
Well, my family has been in the business a long time. My grandfather was a blacksmith. My father was a manager for very large standardbred operations the whole time I was growing up. So he started out, my father, Hal, he's in the Hall of Fame. He started out manager at Pickwick Farm in the 50s and 60s. Then he built Blue Chip Farm for the Kimmelman family, worked for them. Then it was on to Hanover Shoe Farm. He was a manager there in the 70s. The Meadowlands opened up, and Alan Levitt hired him to start Land Lobel in New Jersey. So he worked for other people when I was growing up. And then I got out of college in 1982. We bought our Cameo Hills farm, which was not a farm, just a raw piece of land that's expanded several times since then. So we've been doing it a long time. And we're very proud of the operation, and I think we're doing okay.
It's a fantastic farm if you ever get a chance to visit and have Steve take you around. Like, it's amazing just the flow of all of it and how you have it so workable. Talk about the legacy with the boys and their involvement.
Well, that's the best part of having the farm, or that my sons have joined me in the business, and they're learning the business and learning how to work and learning what goes into the operation. Our farm, the advantage we have of our farm is it was laid out by my father after working at several large standardbred farms for decades. So I equate it to somebody building a house, and by the time you build the house for the fifth time, you know exactly how you want it laid out. So our operation is laid out very efficiently, and I think horses are herd animals. We keep them together right up until they ship to Lexington, and I don't think it hurts the value or the horse at all.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate your work.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm here with Michelle Crawford, owner-operator of Crawford Farms. Was lucky to catch her, and she was willing to kind of tell us, like we've been asking other folks, just what's the why behind everything for you? Because we know the tremendous effort to get here, get these horses here. What's your why?
The why, I think the horses. I've always been passionate about it. Al's family's always been passionate about it. They were in it before I ever met him. And I think it's one of those things that when you love what you do, it just kind of balloons and you want to do more of it and you want to grow it and you want to bring a better product to the industry and you want to see it successful.
Yeah. There's a lot of pride over here at Crawford. The horses just amazingly prepped. I know Heather has a lot to do with that, but the whole crew, and we know it's a tremendous crew, big operation, but talk about the success lately. And if you knew that was coming, if you envisioned that, or has there been any surprises for you? Because it just seems like everything that's kind of come off Crawford Farms has had what it takes to compete.
Well, I think it takes a village, and 100%. We acquired the Kentucky farm, a few years back in anticipation of the breeders program in Kentucky and offering a dually eligible horse. I think that, obviously the analytics that go behind the matings, help, and, we're getting stronger stallions. We have better mares. I think the mare acquisition has been phenomenal for us, and I think that we have been very patient, and we've tried to watch and see what the industry is doing as a whole, grow and learn from that. But, you'll also have this whole backside, the skeleton and the backbone of your business that it's from the Heather's team. It's just 24/7. It's 7 days a week. I can't get her to take a vacation. Chad is amazing. He's grown our properties. They're beautiful. The grass is green and the paddocks are bigger and the pedigrees are amazing. So am I surprised? I'm just super happy. I think you couldn't ask for anything more because now you're starting to, reap what you sow, right? Like you're seeing the fruit of all of that labor coming.
I hope you guys, I hope you all are enjoying it. It's a tremendous team, like I said, that you all have built. And I think not only do you have a great taste in horses and pedigrees, but clearly a great taste in people.
I think so, and I think that they pay us back every single day. And I think the industry as a whole, we still try to come together, and I don't think there's anything that we haven't asked other big breeders to do in conjunction to try to make it better. And I think when you have strong people behind you, it helps you shine and deliver a product that you're so proud of. Like there's not a horse here that doesn't belong here, and I guess the feedback is in and of itself, from the wall wraps and the information on the wall wraps. I think I try to do something a little bit better with marketing, but like I said, it's about the people. Sorry.
All good. And the impact you've had on our industry, being modern and being about quality has obviously been huge, and it seems like it's going to last. And so what do you see in the future for Crawford?
I see just continuing to do what we do and, acquiring the top talent, honestly, breeding our own and keeping some of our fillies so we can breed them and expand the maternal lines and, see what we're going to be doing with the different stallions. We acquire a lot of the good stallion shares. As you know, Carl is going to be, hopefully our next stallion, and we'll be able to breed some great mares to him. But I think, I really kind of think we're in that spot where you just keep doing what you're doing and it's working.
Beautiful. Long live Carl. Yeah. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, folks, I'm here with Jack Burke, Winbak Farm. Jack, we've been asking everybody the same kind of question, like take me through the struggles, joys of trying to get the circus to town.
It's the biggest gamble in the sport, right? It's 3 years of just this one day, and anything can go wrong at any time. from choosing the right stallion that you're hoping 3 years from now is going to be that hot sire, all the way up to last day before a horse popping an abscess. It's just, it's a stressful time.
I was going to ask, how do you handle the stress and pressure? Because I know I struggle myself.
Honestly, I really wish I drank more, but it just doesn't really agree with me too much. But I don't know, just enjoying the day and, you know, just trying to have a positive attitude about everything.
I keep reminding myself, at the end of the day, it's just horses. We're just raising and selling horses. It's not life and death, but it can feel that way when our whole season comes down to a few short sales.
Well, and especially when you have those nice horses that you've kind of been babying, that you get attached to almost, and then all of a sudden something happens. It is very stressful, yeah.
You hate it for that individual, and you hate it for, you know, the excitement you used to have about that individual. What a roller coaster.
It's very much a roller coaster, yes.
Hang in there, bud.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. All right, that was pretty cool to kind of get the.
Yeah, you did a great job, like getting behind the scenes with some of these people, like Michelle, and the fact that she's marketing her own horses to the public, and Steve Jones and the history of the farm,
Right.
and Jack Burke being a funny
He's
guy.
funny. Yeah.
And
I
then
didn't know he
Troy,
was so comedic.
and his Florida transition.
Love Big Troy.
He's great. Yeah.
What a great operation.
Yeah.
All right, that was great. Why don't we get on into our little open bridle segment where there's no
Zero
tack
filter.
that is not allowed. So
Yeah.
Murphy blind or head pull, whatever you need to
The
bust
plugs
out
are
here.
pulled, right?
Open bridle time. I thought we should inform everybody, follow up on our week over there in Ireland that happened at the same time as the Lexington sale. We had 5 yearlings go through the ring. How'd it go?
Thoroughbred sale wise, yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, it just happened to overlap with the Lexington sale. I think last year you went.
Oh, I loved it.
Right, which was fantastic, and I think it's good for you to be there and to feel it, and then to
We've
give
gone
me
together
feedback.
the prior year
Yeah.
to sell our nice filly.
No, but it was nice. I mean,
It's like their graduation day, the sale.
most of our thoroughbreds are there in Europe, and it's a little bit farther away for us, which I don't necessarily love, but it's just part of the deal. But we had a big time Kingman colt, and he rang the bell for us.
Big time.
You know.
He'd be in our top 3 sales ever, top 3 or 4 sales ever. He's
580
Hall of Fame for us now.
Yeah, which is basically
Just a
640 US.
Big, beautiful son of a
he's
gun.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
Second
then
full out of the mare.
for Juddmonte to
family
buy the
hydrangea.
horse, like we've supported their stallions, and to get that coming back in
Such
our
a big
direction
deal
is
for
nice.
us. Yeah. It's so to thread the needle. It's such a small hole.
Well, you saw
But
that
when it works,
5 horses,
anything better?
2 bring a lot of money, 3 basically are giveaways.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that
such a
doesn't
mixed
pay a
bag.
bill. It doesn't pay a stud fee. It does nothing except, get it off the books,
Yeah.
which we need.
is needed, right?
Because we've been on the opposite side of that.
what about the other colt that did well?
Yeah, it was nice. Ammo Racing bought him. He's American Pharaoh colt, which we took the chance and sent him over there, but like a gorgeous physical.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it might have been the best physical that,
We've had in a while.
yeah. So-
Maybe since his sister a few years ago.
Yeah, so that was nice. And they've come back now 3 times in a row and
Isn't
bought
that
it. And they've
nice?
had luck with both fillies, so, we're rooting for them.
I think as breeders, we're all looking for repeat buyers, a following. I mean, there's so much stress on, who's going to buy my yearling? Who does this work with? When you have a trainer or an owner who has had success with a certain mare's produce and they're liking everything you're bringing to the market, I mean, that is just huge.
Yeah, and like I said, they've had a graded winner out of the mare. They've had a grade placed, and so why not come back? And he looks like a star. Like he looks fast and he looks early.
They're the perfect fit
Yeah.
for him, right?
Yeah.
Because he looks like he could be a 2-year-old, and they won't be shy about trying him in some stakes if he's well enough. So, wish them all the best. Thought it should be talked about, like the Down by the Seaside saga continues, right?
Yeah, there's always we ride the waves literally of Seaside because, it was a big risk. We pushed the sale company to put horses on day 1 and 2 and not on just day 5. And, in the lead up to it, it's like, did we do this right? Like, is this right for the stallion? And I think the results were an absolute 100% yes. And they deserve to be throughout the book. And I think it was very apparent.
Yeah, it was like when you have that band that you like that nobody knows about, or only a certain group of your friends know about, and then they come out with that album or song and they're on top 40 radio and the whole world loves them. It felt like it was like that kind of that transition, like, okay, East Coast people are open to this stallion, they like what they're seeing and they're spending big money, and now they're in different people's hands. And once they're in their hands, like, I'm not worried about him, right? Because we know what he is.
He's proved it.
They're going to like those horses more than likely.
And the mare quality is just getting better and better.
Yeah.
These are post like really good crops of race fillies and colts, and so
people need to get on board.
Very nice.
Seaside's going to the moon. Chimpanzee, super happy, right, with what
to wheel
yearlings
back
were
and
able to
have
do.
big time numbers like that again. Like he was one of the leading trotting sires.
Yeah, Stallions had a great week overall, right?
We couldn't
We're
be
really
happier.
blessed.
Yeah.
And in other stallion news,
apart from most horses so far that I've seen.
Carl goes on to take the lead. Carl is in front and pulling away. It is Carl who is a dominant victor tonight.
Carl, the Breeders' Crown champion, is a Kindergarten Series champion. Carl wrapped up from post 10. It's Carl. But it's Carl. Carl caps it off, and Carl just cruising. Carl dominates the Valley victory. And right there is Carl on the outside with a late lunge. Carl on the outside of Bono Surge. Carl, he's king of the Hamiltonian. It's Carl. Carl takes it in 1:51 and 3.
huge news around here. We have attracted one of the most brilliant superstar stallion prospects of the last 10 or 15 years to Diamond Creek.
Yeah,
How are you able to do
outside of Confederate, just because he was a homebred, for us, this is the biggest horse, the most dynamic, the most charismatic horse. I mean, if you spend any time around him, you know he's the real deal, and he showed it from the time he was 2 until now. So, you know, post futurity, we've acquired a significant portion of the horse, and we're trying a different approach with him, right? Like maybe a thoroughbred type model where we're going to try to acquire a bigger piece of the horse, and we'll syndicate him as well. But this is a huge deal, and there was a big party. Tell us about that before the races.
Yeah, so this one, I guess every stallion deal is different, and when you're on our side of the table, you chase the ones you want, and at some point the owners will be ready, and I think they were ready.
Yeah.
You've had a really close relationship with Jimmy Tactor, the Tactor family, for decades now. And
I'm not that old. Maybe
19
10
years,
plus
though,
years.
almost
yeah,
2 decades.
We'll call it a decade. I like it.
I think what he called you on Saturday or Sunday and was like, "I'm coming to your house."
Yeah, basically.
And you
That's
sat
how
around
it
the kitchen
worked.
table.
Yeah.
Hammered it out. And
it was literally a handshake.
Isn't that great?
And then he's like, put the handshake on paper. I put the handshake on paper, and we signed the deal the next day.
In Nancy's barn.
I love to do that.
That was so fun. Before the futurity card, before the first post, all the owners met at Nancy's barn there and sat at the table.
We signed the deal.
And they had a toast. And it was like the most celebratory stallion recruitment finalization that I'd seen.
Yeah, you get
different.
to participate in that too. Yeah,
that was neat. They gave us the hats, and you and Michelle got on TV there, the Red Mile broadcast, and talked about it. And a lot of people have reached out. There's been super strong European interest. I think the futurity, he didn't have a great day. I believe he scoped sick afterwards.
Yeah, Jimmy texted me and was like, he scoped with blood and mucus. So
yeah,
it's nice to see that there was a legitimate excuse.
Yeah.
Not one where you're just tailing off at the end of the season, but really just like you had a bad day. I mean, they're animals. They're not machines.
Bad days, they all should.
But like you said, he's been brilliant from the second he stepped on the track, and like you said, dynamic, charismatic. Like he fits everything we look for in a horse, and he's by the right horse, right? He's by the best young stallion in the sport.
You know what else is such a big deal is that he's out of a RC royalty mare.
So he crosses.
I mean, he's got, I think, American winner on the top and bottom, which is, something a lot of people love. And obviously it produced a great horse in him. But the possibilities for him to mate with all the Chapter 7 mares out there and all the Cantab mares out there, I mean, his pool to pick from is very big.
You can even go Muscle Hill.
You could?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little tight, and a lot of people will do that, including us.
Mm-hmm.
But, just sitting there with Michelle that day, she turns to me and she's like, I'm breeding Atlanta to him.
Oh,
and then Barry tells us in private that they're going to breed Manchego. So, two top race fillies are going to be, the first two mares in his book, which is pretty exciting.
It's going to be really fun. Yeah. He's headed back home. And he'll be able to get back into his routine up home, and we'll anticipate a big bounce back in the Breeders' Crown.
Yeah, they'll get him healthy. And again, he hadn't raced in 3 weeks.
Yep.
He had been off since the Kentucky Sire Stakes finals, and weather affected some training and stuff for some of these horses that were stabled here. So,
his
legit
resume
excuses and
damn near flawless.
I'm not worried. He'll bounce back.
He's pretty bulletproof as a stallion prospect. So we are working on that for everybody, and we'll get details to him, probably between Breeders' Crown and Harrisburg.
Yeah, I mean, we'll set stud fees. We'll have syndication details for Carl as well during that time. Yeah.
Also in stallion news, to just wrap up the open bridle section, is our old pal Always Be Mickey's on the move.
Yeah, coming right here.
I literally can't believe that it's happening because, how
long have we talked about
We've talked about this for
years.
4 or 5 years. Yeah. What a dream if Kentucky could get to the point where it could attract Always Be Mickey, because we got this big track. His horses have been racing great on it. And so just walk everybody through how this went down, like the Kentucky Sire Stakes finals.
We talked about it, like you said, for a couple of years. We've approached, Mitchell and Bob, and they were always open to the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just never the right time. But then the Sire Stakes finals come. He wins 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. It was crazy how successful. Then it bled right into the Grand Circuit, where he won some big Grand Circuit races down here. And it was obvious. And, being with Mitchell and Bob during the sale, it made an easy decision-making process. And they said yes, signed off on it. We announced it. And I'll tell you what, the response has been tremendous, right? I mean, I've been reached out to by a number of people that have literally never bred to the horse that are lining up mares now. So pretty exciting.
Very exciting. Well, with that, we better wrap up this open bridle section and move on down the stretch. All right, Adam, why don't we go down the stretch here, wrap up this episode. What a great episode. You love Mexican food, right?
I love Mexican food. I'd eat it every day.
I could too.
Yeah.
You eat it every Sunday with your family.
Every Sunday.
I love Mexican food. It's very close to my heart. And we're taking a bunch of people, whole barn staff, to Perico's in Paris, Mexican place today. What's your favorite Mexican dish?
I'm either going chicken enchiladas, or I'm going...
What sauce, though? Because you got to pick the sauce on the enchilada.
It's usually
just regular
a cheese,
enchilada?
like just the white cheese sauce.
Oh, so you got queso.
Yeah, exactly, basically. So, or I'm going like pollo parrilla.
The heck is that?
I don't know. It's like onions and peppers, chicken, and
there's a different
cheese.
name at every place.
Everything is the same. Yeah. What about you?
I like, and I don't know if you can do this everywhere, but you know what ceviche is, right? With the shrimp or the fish, and you get the lime juice. Now, it's like the riskiest thing you could ever order because it's either like really good or really bad. But like I like that.
Yeah, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And you need to find a bathroom.
Yeah, and then I like the whatever that chicken dish you were talking about. I like to get that too. But Keeneland is in session. We got the Keeneland meet going on in Lexington. I know some people got to get out there during the Lexington sale, and I'm sure we'll try to sneak out there at some point. What's your favorite Keeneland tradition?
I mean, getting dressed up and going to the clubhouse is great, you know, and now being a member is even better for me. And then I get to share it with other people, which maybe is the best thing for me. So, you know, we've gifted tickets to people from Paducah all the way to Sweden, right?
Yeah.
So anybody in town that needs a spot, let me know. What about you?
You might regret that.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
For me, it's probably just going, you know, if you're able to sneak into the paddock, getting close to the horses, something about that. Maybe you feel a little good because you're like being seen in an exclusive area. Something about that's always been magical.
Are you sneaking in?
You used to be able to do that.
Just
and then
do
they
a
started
flash.
checking for your credentials and whatnot. But I like that. That'd be one of my favorites. So
and wasting money.
Yeah, just, you know what? Just acting as if money has no value for a few hours is fun sometimes.
Licking your wounds when you leave.
Well, if it's in your case, betting it all on the last race, right?
Which almost never works out for me.
You'll learn one day. Yeah. Well, folks, we really appreciate you. Hit us up with any questions, Caroline at diamondcreekfarm.com for those. And we'll maybe get to some of those on the next episode where we are likely to talk about more stallion stuff.
Yep.
So with that, we'll see y'all in Harrisburg.